They're off. A good beginning, Magical Champagne showing speed from the outside with Boston Bay. Kentucky Bill racing as a pair with Easter Sunday Girl now vying for the lead under a ride. Taking back early and trailing the quartet is Lawn Rose Gamble. A dueling quartet up front. It's Kentucky Bill and Kirk Johnson up a half length now to Easter Sunday Girl and Edgar Zenteno. Boston Bay with Helen Vanek third and Magical Champagne widest under Alexis Sanchez with Lawn Rose Gamble tracking these four intently. They race into the turn. The opening quarter was 22-2, and there's 3 furlongs to travel. Kentucky Bill now opens up 2 on Easter Sunday Girl. Ram Sammy sending Lawn Rose Gamble up the inside, moving well with Boston Bay and Magical Champagne. With just over 2 furlongs to travel, it's Kentucky Bill still moving easily on the front end. Lawn Rose Gamble has come into second as they complete the half in 45-4. Still with 4 lengths to make up on Kentucky Bill. Magical Champagne, Easter Sunday Girl, and Boston Bay at the back as a trio. Kentucky Bill striding well within the furlong pole. Lawn Rose Gamble trying to close the margin, but he still has 5 lengths to make up, and he's not going to make a dent on Kentucky Bill. Kentucky Bill and Kirk Johnson take the opener by 3 over Lawn Rose Gamble, Boston Bay, Magical Champagne, and Easter Sunday Girl. 6 furlongs in 1:11-1. They're off. Attestation out well from the center with Kitty Holiday. Blue Max broke well, but he's taking back, steadying a bit there as Fairway to Heaven advances on the inside. And here's speed from Jack Beanstalk, who now takes the early lead. It's Jack Beanstalk and Helen Vanek, a half to Kitty Holiday and Pierre Mailhot. Chad Lee has Fairway to Heaven close on the inside, racing side by side with Attestation. And after a good beginning, Blue Max can see them all. The opening quarter was 23-1. They race within the half, and now Kitty Holiday puts the neck in front of Jack Beanstalk. Fairway to Heaven third on the inside of Attestation. Then it's a gap of 3 to Blue Max. They reach the 3. It's Kitty Holiday now ridden along to take the advantage. Opens up a length and a half on Jack Beanstalk. Fairway to Heaven has to come off the inside with Attestation to his outer, and now Blue Max swings 3 deep. 46 flat to the half. They reach the quarter. It's Kitty Holiday and Pierre Mailhot up by 2. The next 4 are in a line as they corner. Blue Max trying to rally down the extreme outside. Fairway to Heaven not doing enough yet. Jack Beanstalk on the inside. Kitty Holiday still has a 2-length cushion over Blue Max, who's the only threat at the 16th pole. Blue Max trying to rally. Kitty Holiday still on top. Kitty Holiday goes on to score. Kitty Holiday by 2 over Blue Max, then Fairway to Heaven, Attestation, and Jack Beanstalk, 117-3. They're off. Alzado broke well from the outside with Wood Glen Court, Peely Island looking to split those foes. That gives Mulmer an opportunity to drop down to a good spot on the inside in 4th, racing a length better than Rose for Carrick, and the early trailer is the first-time starter, Galileo Street. 6 furlongs to travel. It's Alzado and Steve Jadu freewheeling on the lead, leading by 2 over Wood Glen Court, a neck better than Peely Island, third on the inside. Rose for Carrick making a rush widest into 4th, almost 3rd, 2 lengths better than Mulmer, and still at the back is Galileo Street. 24 seconds flat for the opening quarter. It's still Alzado, unchallenged on the lead, being tracked by Wood Glen Court, bet down to 6-5. Rose for Carrick is 3 deep. Peely Island biding his time in 4th on the inside. It's another 2.5 to Mulmer, racing in 5th, and Galileo Street still at the back. They race out from the trees and into the far turn, and now the complexion change. Alzado had to hit the brakes as Wood Glen Court and Rose for Carrick dropped in. Peely Island off the inside into 3rd. Mulmer now ridden along by Salas, and Galileo Street trying to wind up from last. At the 2, the half was 47-3. It's now Rose for Carrick, who's not cornering well. That leaves plenty of room up the inside for Wood Glen Court and Peely Island. Galileo Street from last, moving well. Alzado trying to fight back on the inside. But here's Galileo Street. Kirk Johnson take the lead. Alzado trying to re-rally. Rose for Carrick and Peely Island right there. Galileo Street last to first on debut. Kirk Johnson wins 2 on the day. Galileo Street a length. Peely Island, then Rose for Carrick, Alzado, Wood Glen Court, and Mulmer, 128-3. They're off. American, of course, broke running from the center with Silent Passion to her outside and Frackamore nearer the rail. Shamra gets away in 4th, about 3 lengths off the lead, racing 1.5 better than No Visor, and the early trailer is Little Fire. They're fairly well strung out as they sort themselves out down the backside. American, of course, and Luis Reyes up by 1.5 lengths, now 2 to Frackamore. Silent Passion and Helen Vanek are racing in 3rd, 1.5 lengths better than Shamra with Jeffrey Alderson as they complete the opening quarter in 22-2. It's a gap of 5 to No Visor, who only has Little Fire beaten at this stage. They race within the 3. It's still American, of course. Frackamore and Silent Passion both trying to get a bit closer. Shamra appears to be struggling to corner a bit in 4th, still racing about 5 lengths better than No Visor, and Little Fire is trailed throughout. The half was 45-3. They corner, and they still have to reel in American, of course. Silent Passion has rallied into 2nd and moving well. Shamra trying to get to Frackamore. It's Silent Passion getting now to American, of course, with a 16th to go. Silent Passion has the neck in front. Shamra trying to rally late. Silent Passion and Helen Vanek cruise in to win. Silent Passion 1 3/4 to American, of course, then Shamra, Frackamore, Little Fire, and No Visor. 6 furlongs in 1:10-2. They're off. Saitori took a stumble at the start. She trails early. That leaves the front-running duo of Getting Ahead and Van Du battling for the early lead. 3rd is Bridge to Nowhere, about to be joined by Saitori, who's trying to recover from that stumbling start. 5th on the outside is Really Thirsty, and the early trailer is Night Saber. They race into the turn. It's Getting Ahead and Michael David up a length to Van Du. Saitori is 3rd on the outside of Bridge to Nowhere, then Really Thirsty and Night Saber still at the back. The opening quarter was 22-2. They reach halfway, and it's getting ahead now, being given a reminder, trying to keep up on the front end. Vandu is still second. It's a gap of 3 to Satori and Bridge to Nowhere, with Really Thirsty trying to split foes. Night Saber is trailed throughout. Just over a furlong to the wire. It's getting ahead, still on top by 3. Vandu and Really Thirsty battling it out for second. Here comes Really Thirsty with momentum up the inside. Getting ahead, looking for the wire. Really Thirsty surging, and it's Really Thirsty and Brian Shane. Really Thirsty a length 2, getting ahead. Then Vandu, Night Saber, Bridge to Nowhere, and Satori, 58 flat. They're off. Graffiti Rider out very well from the far outside. Speed towards the rail for Silent Miracle. Hardware Gap and Star Scholar. In a bit tight there, trying to take back as Quiet Intent in the early fray. It's a gap of 2 to Fast and Ready, racing as a pair with Sailor's Passion as they cross the wire. 3 more to Bingo's Grind, then Dreams and Schemes, and well back to Thelonious. Must be 15 lengths front to back within 6 furlongs to travel. It's Silent Miracle and Ishmael Mascara, length to Hardware Gap. Zenteno has Star Scholar third on the inside, 2 lengths off the leaders. It's another 2 back to Graffiti Rider, who's back to 4th after the good beginning. Quiet Intent has made his way to the rail. He's racing on the inside of Sailor's Passion. Then we have Fast and Ready and Bingo's Grind. Dreams and Schemes is 9th and still well back to Thelonious. The opening quarter was 23-4. They're halfway home, the half 48-3, and Silent Miracle continues to make the pace. Hardware Gap and Mikey David track in second. Star Scholar still third. Graffiti Rider and Deshaun Gaskin asked to get a little closer now from fourth. Sailor's Passion ridden along by Campos on the inside of Quiet Intent, who's under a hold. Then we have Bingo's Grind trying to wind up from mid-pack with Fast and Ready looking for room on the inside. Dreams and Schemes and still Thelonious at the back. 3 quarters and 1:13-1. They reached the head of the lane and nobody has challenged Silent Miracle. He's led from the onset. Star Scholar begins to tire. Quiet Intent trying to split foes. Fast and Ready on the inside, and Graffiti Rider widest is traveling well. Here comes Graffiti Rider. Fast and Ready lost the momentum on the inside. Graffiti Rider and Deshaun Gaskin on top. Late charge from Sailor's Passion for second, then Silent Miracle, Star Scholar, Dreams and Schemes. 139-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fort Erie Racetrack on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We kind of beat the forecast. There's supposed to be a lot of rain overnight and some flooding in nearby areas, but not here in Fort Erie. It is 25 degrees Celsius or 77 Fahrenheit with a wind coming out of the north, it looks like, at 9 miles per hour. Main track is fast and the turf is firm with the rail out 12 feet, and there are 29 minutes to first post. Visit our website, forterieracing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show for info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping, and info about upcoming races and events. Racing is back next week at Fort Erie on August 3rd. Post time will be 12:15. That's Monday, not Sunday, August 3rd. Civic holiday. And take note that the Almost Cool concert that had been rescheduled for tonight has once again been rescheduled. It will now be taking place on August 11th. So that'll be August 11th after the races. Come out for Almost Cool. And Monday, August 3rd, the dogs are coming back. Basset Hound and Corgi races taking place. And to highlight the dog racing day, Wiener Dog champion Frank will be returning for a Battle of the Breeds with the winners of the Corgi and Basset Hound races. Be sure to come out on Sunday, August 30th for Fort Foodie Fest, sponsored this year by TELUS Pure Fiber Internet. Live racing in the Food Truck Festival. Post time will be 12:15. The 91st running of the Prince of Wales Stakes takes place on Labor Day, September 7th. And returning this year for Prince of Wales is the Fashion Contest. The best dressed ladies win a gift certificate to Lasting Impressions Lifestyle Boutique. This year the purse for the Prince of Wales has been raised to $500,000. Also some purse increases in the overnight and the other stakes races on the card. So there'll be nearly $1 million total prize money up for grabs on Prince of Wales Day. So be sure to come out for some of Canada's finest thoroughbred action. Track-a-Lantern returns on October 12th. Starting at noon, kids in costume can trick-or-treat around the track. Treat your team to an exciting day at the races. It's only $15 per person. The track pack includes one food item, one drink, and a Fort Erie live racing program. For more information, go to our website. We're having non-winning ticket draws today at Fort Erie. The draws will take place after the fourth race. Today's non-winning ticket draw prize is a dog goodie bag courtesy of Pet Food Outlet. Be sure to book your table in the Turfside Dining Room, open on live racing days. Reservations are recommended. Head down to the Paddock Shack for burgers, hot dogs, sausages, fries, and poutine, plus beer and soft drinks, located near the walking ring. Become a member of HPIBet.com today. Get $100 when you bet $100, plus your first bet is on us. Tune into Your TV Niagara for the Fort Erie Race Replay Show, Channel 70 HD or 100 Epico. Thursdays at 10:30, Saturdays at 4, and Sundays at noon. Jackpot High Five wagering offered in Race 6 today. The carryover is up to $3,248.13. Smoking is allowed in designated areas only at Fort Erie Racetrack. No food or beverage are allowed in these areas, and no cannabis is allowed on the property. Up next are today's changes. In Race 1, we have a couple of rider changes. Number 1, Forester Humor will now be ridden by Deshaun Gaskin. And number 5, People Are People, the new rider will be Zerrell Ford. In Race 2, there will be no show wagering in Race 2. Cancel show wagering. Rider change on the number 5, If You Insist, make the rider Luis Contreras. In Race 3, we have an overweight on the number 2, Free Charging. She'll be 5 pounds over at 122. Rider change on the number 5, Final Run for Love. Make the rider Jeffrey Alderson. And Stewart scratch the main track only, number 7, Let's Go Liam. Race 4 is clear. No changes in the 4th. In Race 5, we have a rider change on the number 7, Frack City. Make the rider Robert Stewart. Race 6, rider change on the number 7, Yeah No, make the rider Luis Contreras. Stewart scratch number 8, Solve, and take out the main track only number 9, Noisy Girl, scratch numbers 8 and 9. Beautiful conditions for a Tuesday afternoon here at Fort Erie, fast and firm, 25 degrees Celsius outside, a wonderful day for racing. Let's take a look at our selections on today's card. Race 1 is a claimer, $6,250 down to $6,000 for 3-year-olds and up which haven't won a race this year or which have never won 4. It's a 5-furlong sprint to kick off the early pick 4 on today's card. Some solid horses in here. I've gone to the number 4, Cantucci, who's been racing well this season, still in search of his first win of the year. Last time out ran a good second to Forest Flash. Before that was a game second to Commander Joe. He's making his second start off the claim for George Newland. We've got Alexis Sanchez in the saddle. This horse is consistent. He has the speed to be close without needing to battle on the lead, and I think he's got a good shot to get his first win of the campaign here. Number 5, People Are People, figures to be the favorite for Tony Adamo and Icon Racing Stable. Zerrell Ford picking up the mount. People Are People made one start so far this year on June 7th where he battled on the lead and was beaten the nose by Mia and Me. But last year had a very solid season. He won 4 out of 10, including a wide open $6,250 at the end of the year. Expect him to be on the pace at a short price. Number 3, I'm going to go with the number 2, Happy Quad, who was a winner 2 starts ago in a condition 7,500 at Woodbine. Had a very nice rail rallying trip that day. Came back in a wide open 10 against much tougher company and was a non-factor. Off of a wide trip, which is tough to overcome at Woodbine. He's raced here at Fort Erie before on the dirt and has raced okay. I definitely think he's a better horse on the synthetic, but I think he's got a good chance to pick up a check here. Praven Badri retaining the mount for owner-trainer Mike Glazier. Race 2 is the feature of the day. It's an open allowance going 1 mile and 70 yards. Pick 5 wagering starts here. It is a field of 5, and we've got a very eye-catching shipper coming in from Woodbine in the shape of number 1, Baxley, for trainer Harold Lattiser, Praven Badri in the saddle. Baxley was claimed for $50,000 at Woodbine on June 21st, running second behind a very nice horse and Souped Up. Yeah. Just getting major class relief here. I think it's a good move. You're probably not going to move this horse up to the $80,000 level at Woodbine, so you're stuck in jail for 30 days. Why not run here and get a check before you run back for $50,000? Mind you, he is out of jail. That was on June 21st. He's got experience on the dirt. He won a wide open allowance going 1 mile 70 at Prairie Meadows as a 3-year-old. He has the speed figures, he has the speed, and he's just so far the class of the race. He's going to be a short price. But unless he gets drilled into the ground on the lead, I don't think he'll be easy to beat. Number 3, Scat Factor was second best behind If You Insist on July 7th. If You Insist had a very easy lead that day. Obviously with Baxley in this race, I don't see things playing out the same way. I think this is a race where If You Insist could get a little discouraged on the front end chasing Baxley, and that could set things up for Scat Factor to pick up the pieces. And maybe if Baxley and If You Insist engage in a speed duel and wear each other out, Scat Factor could end up coming out on top. Obviously, it's tough to ignore. Number 5, If You Insist. He's 2 for 2 this year, cruised on the front end and held off Scat Factor to win at this open allowance level on July 7th. Obviously, things get tougher with Baxley showing up this time. But this is a horse with such a good record on the Fort Erie dirt. 8 starts, 6 wins in 2 seconds. Never worse than second on the Fort Erie dirt. He can do any surface, any distance on the dirt. Luis Contreras picking up the mount for Mark Fournier. Race 3 is our first turf race of the day. It's a $6,250 non-winners of 2, going about 7 furlongs. The late pick 4 starts here. I think it's a very competitive race. You can make a case for quite a few of them. I've gone to the number 5, Final Run for Love, who will be ridden today by Jeffrey Alderson, picking up the mount for trainer Roy Augustino. Final Run for Love, 2 starts ago in a non-2 allowance. He was in good position, but made an early move down the backstretch, angled wide and kind of flattened out. Then a week later on July 7th, he kind of reverted back to his old plodding style where he fell way out of it and came running late. I think if Alderson can have him close and just be a bit more patient With this drop in for 62.50, I think he'll be very capable. He really likes the Fort Erie turf course. I'm sure he'd like a little bit further than about 7 furlongs, but you've got to take what you can get. I think he'll have a good showing here. Number 2, Arami Speightster is the morning line favorite. Dan Wills had a 2-win day yesterday. Luis Reyes rides this son of Speightster. He kicked off his season in the same July 7th allowance race that Final Run for Love exits. He chased a fairly quick pace and came up empty in the stretch. Now that he's got that tightener under his belt, I think he'll fare better. I do think he might be a bit better on the dirt than the turf, but we'll see. I think he's definitely one to consider in his second start off the bench. Then the number 3, Wolf Beach, going for Mike Cohen and Lincoln and Ashley Radhay. We've got Emil Ramsamy riding. He ran 3rd, good race in the June 30th race that Final Run for Love competed in. Sat close to the pace and just got out-kicked, chasing my math is correct that day. Good run, good post. I expect a good effort out of Wolf Beach and with this drop in for 62.50. Race 4 is an allowance race for non-winners of 3, going 6.5 furlongs. Kicks off the final rolling pick 3 of the day here. And it's another race I think is quite competitive. I think you can make a case for pretty much everybody. I have gone to the morning line favorite, number 4, Glinton Daddy's Eye for Tony Adamo. And Bermuda Blue and Icon Racing. Luis Reyes retains the mount. I just think this is a race without a ton of speed. I know my math is correct, likes to be forward. But Glinton Daddy's Eye, he wants to be fairly close, and he doesn't need to go with my math is correct. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of pace here. And I think that gives Glinton Daddy's Eye a tactical advantage. He can either get the lead or sit just off and should be able to hold off the closers. He ran a really good race to be 3rd last time out, chasing a much hotter pace, 44-2. I don't think the fractions are going to be hot that hot this time. I think things should turn around. Number 1, Catholic Jackie, made his dirt debut on July 12th at this level. Made a really nice rally to be 2nd behind Globe Trotting. Luis Contreras going to ride this one for Roy Augustino, who has 2 in this race, also represented by the number 6, Times a Breeze. And the number 3, Heard a Ghost, was a winner last time out on the turf with a nice rally, a very good ride by Luis Reyes. He's obviously gone to Glinton Daddy's Eye, so we've got Helen Vanek in the saddle on Heard a Ghost. And I think he's in with a shot to double up despite the surface change. Moving on to race 5, it's a maiden claimer, $62.50 down to $6,000. Field of 8, set to go to gate here. I've gone to the number 3, Silent Mort, who made his Fort Erie debut over a sloppy track on July 21st. Was at the 8,000 level. He ran an okay race, got out-kicked on the front end, but kept on to be 3rd. Hopefully he likes the fast surface today better than the slop. Number 2, Sasagula River, figures to be very live here. Has been 2nd and 3rd in his last couple starts at Woodbine, and his only start here on the Fort Erie Dirt on the Sprint into Summer Cup. He completely missed the start and came running late, galloped out very far in front of the rest. I think he's the one to beat. Leo Salas in the saddle this time for Roy Augustino, but likely to be a short price. And you have to watch his antics in the warm-up. He can be difficult to handle. Then the number 6, Tannist, is sent down here by Ron Sadler, moves to the barn of trainer Danny Wills, Jeffrey Alderson in the saddle. This one's shown nothing at Woodbine in the maiden optional 40 ranks. They're plunging him right in for $62.50, trying to find a level he can be competitive at. Like we said, Danny Wills had a 2-win day yesterday. Tannist, we'll see if the change of scenery improves his fortunes. Last race of the day. Race 6 is a maiden allowance race. Going about 7 furlongs for the fillies and mares. Jackpot High 5 has a $3,200 carryover. My choice here with a big scratch here of the number 8, Solve, who is going to be a heavy favorite. And that's left me with the number 6, Daring Dam, Zerrell Ford riding for Julie Mathis. We're in a pretty good race to be 5th on the turf here in her Fort Erie debut on July 7th. I just don't think there's a ton to beat in this race, so I'm giving Daring Dame the call. I could definitely hear cases for others. Number 4, Arctic Velocity, getting back to the turf after a flat effort on the dirt against the boys. Her last 3 starts have all been against the boys, and I thought both of her turf races were okay. Second behind a Heavy Like a Chevy, who was loose on the lead. And then an okay 5th in an 8-horse field behind Sunset Skippy and Speedy Connection. That's a way better race than this. Corey Jordan riding this one for Paul Epien, 15-1 morning line. I could definitely make a wager. And then the number 1, Tizara, coming down from Woodbine for Steve Chirkop and Deshaun Gaskin, who teamed up to win the last yesterday with Graffiti Rider. This one has shown very little in 4 career starts. Looking for class relief here. Could show some speed from the inside. We'll see if this daughter of Tiz the Law can turn things around in a bit of a head-scratching closing race of the day. 14 minutes to today's first post. Fast and firm. Best of luck with all of your wagers, and enjoy this beautiful Tuesday here at Fort Erie Racetrack.
It's easy to make a bet on HPIBet.com. Follow these simple steps and you'll be betting in no time. First, go to the HPIBet.com website. Sign in to your HPIBet account. Find the track and race you want to bet on. Click on the Place Bet button. Click on the bet type you want to wager with. Click on the amount you want to wager. Click on the horse you want to wager on. Click on the green Place Bet button. Review your bet confirmation information. It's all done. Remember, all this can be done on most mobile devices. Now cheer on your pick to victory.
Race 1 up next here. It's a $6,250 claiming event. 5 furlongs is the distance for these colts and geldings, and it's a field of 6. And my interest is on the outside 3 slots in here, that being the 4 Cantucci, the 5 People Are People, and then the 6 in here, Truly Mischief. And in terms of those horses and sorting it out, I ultimately landed on the 5 People Are People, who was narrowly defeated last time out behind Mia and Me. I thought was game. I know he failed as the favorite in there, but I thought it was a gutsy performance in his first start of the year. When we saw him here last year, he had a very productive 2025. You can see never worse than 3rd here on the main track. He's been a really nice claim for these connections, who you can see they've had him a couple of times now. And I just think in terms of trip, he's a little handier than one might think. Even when you look at the race 2 back, end of the year here, he rallied from so far off of it to get the job done. And then last time out used his speed. So curious to see what the connections will decide to do here. I don't think they'll necessarily get too cute, but there is other speed, especially to his outside in here. So love knowing that he can stalk and still be effective. The 4, Cantucci, he's been knocking at the door of getting that win this year. He's come close on several occasions, just hasn't been able to do it. And I thought last time out he was second best behind the very speedy Forest Flash. We actually saw his half sibling deliver here yesterday on debut. Cantucci, you kind of look at his trip. He gets almost the same trip all the time as long as he breaks well. He's very close. He's typically chasing the pace, and he's hoping that it comes back to him. And I think in some of those races, there really hasn't been a speed duel that has kind of unfolded in front of him, where in here, you have to think that the 6 is going, the 5 has to go a little bit, so maybe he does get the right setup today in order to at least get a big share, if not the top spot. And I mentioned it, the 6, Truly Mischief. Go back to some of his races. He can be extremely quick. It doesn't seem, though, now at the age of 7, he's necessarily as fast as he once was, but he's getting significant class relief, and we just see this angle all the time here where horses come out of the starter optional claimers, they drop in for a tag, and they find their friends and they regain confidence. And that's really what I think he could be doing today. He has numbers last year that would make him a standout against this group. I mean, he's got upper 70s in terms of buyer speed figures. And I mentioned he's extremely quick. He should like the 5 furlong distance, but I just had a little bit of a reservation giving him the top spot because I do think he's going to be a short price here and he needs to do a little bit better. So we'll see if the number 5 People Are Peoples ready to roll second off the freshening. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's first race. Race 1 is a claimer for 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race in 2026 or which have never won 4 races. Going for a claiming price of $62.50 down to $6,000, traveling a distance of 5 furlongs, competing for a purse of $24,375. Race 1 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent early pick 4 wagering. Race 1 post parade, number 1 is Forester Humor. Deshaun Gaskin picks up the mount for owner-trainer Aaron Rickman. Mike Glazier owns and trains the number 2 Happy Quad. The rider is Praven Badri. Number 3 is Forest Buzz. Steve Jadu in the saddle for trainer Corey McChesney and owner Phil Vanderbert. Number 4 is Cantucci racing for Bailey Ann Spin. Alexis Sanchez rides for trainer George Newland. Number 5 is People Are People. Zerrol Ford picks up the mount for trainer Tony Adamo and owner Icon Racing Stables. And completing the field, number 6, Truly Mischief. Pierre Mailhot rides for trainer Claudia Rabstein and owner John Grinsteins. 2 minutes to post for race 1. Early pick 4 wagering kicks off here. Starting gate about to take position. Get those race 1 wagers in. The early pick 4 starts here. Current favorite at 6-5 is the number 5, People Are People. Starting gate taking position. Not much time left to get your wagers in. Race 1 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. People Are People, the even money favorite as we begin loading. First up will be Forrester Humor and Deshaun Gaskin. Field of 6 to sprint 5 furlongs to kick off the Tuesday card here at Fort Erie. Happy Quad with Praven Badgery to gate 2. Forest Buzz with Steve Jadu. Cantucci and Alexis Sanchez. People Are People and Zerrell Ford. Last in will be Truly Mischief and Pierre Mailhot. All set. They're off. Very slow out of the gate, Happy Quad, dwelt at least 6 lengths. Speed on the outside for Truly Mischief, who's straight to the front with Forrester Humor, second on the inside. Between horses, Cantucci. People Are People out widest. Forest Buzz has dropped down to the inside, racing in 5th, and it's well back to Happy Quad. Truly Mischief pulling at Mailhot on the lead. Forrester Humor had to take a slight step on the brakes. He's about to be joined by Forest Buzz. These two are 2 lengths clear of People Are People, racing on the outside of Cantucci, and Happy Quad just catching the pack. The opening quarter was 22-1. Truly Mischief bearing out on the turn, and now the lead belongs to Forest Buzz. Forrester Humor trying to find more on the inside. Out widest, People Are People tries to rally, but it's Forest Buzz and Steve Jadu. Truly Mischief trying to find another gear. Forrester Humor, People Are People not doing enough. Forest Buzz clinging to the lead as Truly Mischief kicks back in, down to the wire. Photo finish. I think Truly Mischief just got up. Forest Buzz second, then Forrester Humor, People Are People, Cantucci, and Happy Quad. 5/8 and 57. Photo finish in race 1. Hold all tickets. In the photo, it's the number 6, Truly Mischief, over the number 3, Forest Buzz. Third, number 1, Forrester Humor. Fourth, number 5, People Are People. Unofficial race 1 order, 6-3-1-5. The stewards have lit the inquiry sign looking into the start of the number 2 Happy Quad. Stewards inquiry looking into the start of race 1. Unofficial order is 6315. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's first race, number 6, Truly Mischief. Truly Mischief is a 7-year-old bay gelding by Into Mischief out of Truly Blushed, bred in Kentucky by Newton Anerstud. Pierre Mailhot with the winning ride. Truly Mischief is trained by Claudia Rabstein for John Grinsteins. First win of the season for Truly Mischief, his 9th lifetime win in 43 starts. Digging back in down the stretch to get up and win in a winning time, 5 furlongs and 57 flat. Congratulations to the connections of Truly Mischief. Hold all tickets until race 1 is made official. Steward's inquiry looking into the start is still ongoing. Stewards have determined that number 2 Happy Quad did receive a fair start. He was the cause of his own problems at the break, so there'll be no change. Race 1 order 6315 will be made official shortly. Race 1 is now official. Prices are up. Truly Mischief returns $5.10 to win. $3.90 and $3.10. Second, number 3, Forest Buzz, $10.80 to place $6.80. Third, number 1, Forester Humor, $10.90 to show. $2 exacta, $6.3, $76.70. The $1 try, $6.31, $220.40. $1 super, $6.315, $902.35. On screen now, the win photo from race 1. And we'd like to wish a very happy 60th birthday to Jim from your favorite band of EMS Misfits. Happy birthday, Jim, from all of your friends and family here at Fort Erie Racetrack. Fort Erie is proud to partner with Oneida New Holland of Niagara. We'd like to thank them for providing us with a tractor for our racetrack maintenance. Race 2 changes, a rider change on the number 5, if you insist. Make the rider Luis Contreras. No show wagering in race 2. 16 minutes to post.
Race two's 2 turns here on the dirt at 1.70 miles. A very nice allowance event here for the Colts and Gelding. It is a compact field of 5, but I do think it's a little interesting to dissect this from the fact that we have a fresh face here on the rail, the one Baxley, and also some other speed in here and some horses that we know they certainly want to go 2 turns, and if they get the right setup, I think they could have a major say in the outcome. So, you know, Baxley is the horse to beat. Look at his numbers, consistent big buyers throughout, and a horse that really hasn't had the opportunities since Mahoning Valley to go long and now gets back to going long on the dirt. But I did want to give a slight edge here and maybe get a little creative, not that creative, with who I think will be second choice in the wagering, the number 5, If You Insist here. Mark Fournier, a horse that's been able to go 2 for 2 so far this year, and it's just been a horse that if you watch him, he's very handy. He can win 1 turn, 2 turns, it doesn't matter. He can be on the lead. He can rate with a target in front of him. He's very handy. I actually love the outside draw for him in here, and he did nothing wrong stretching out. He was able to go this distance and level last time out and took things gate to wire, and thought he got a beautiful ride that day from Juan Crawford. We'll see what the tactics will be here, but he's yet to finish out of the top 2 in the money on the 40-grade dirt, and just had to go with one of the local faces here. But as I mentioned, you have to respect Baxley. I think if you're looking at this pick 5 sequence, you have to use him as well, just based on his resume. He's a 6-time winner, 10 for 13 in the money, and his work, I mean, look at him. 5 of his victories, they've been on the dirt, and he's just been very, very strong. Now, some of those dirt races, you have to go back to 2024 to find, and actually his win going 1.70 miles, Prairie Meadows 2024. So it's been a long time. They were able to get him to go long once at Mahoning Valley this winter over a muddy track where he went the mile and he was part of the pace. He surrendered, he finished second, but it was just his second start in such a long time that sometimes I think when it's a really lengthy layoff like it was for him, they don't necessarily take the step forward, second off their freshening like we usually expect. So I don't want to hold that against him. You look at him in his last 3, those efforts up at Woodbine. He's been second in 2 of them. I thought different trips in each of them. He showed a lot of speed last time out. It was a very tough spot. So for him, this is class relief, but this is going to be his first time stretching out for these connections and first time here at Fort Erie. But he could be dangerous, especially if he breaks well from the inside. I think they'll all be trying to catch him. And then finally, if for some reason the 1 and the 5, you kind of duel early and lock up, you have to think the 3 scat factor is a major factor in here. A horse that's proven over the main track, loves going 2 turns. We saw him really get into form here last September and October, where he had back-to-back wins, going 1 1/8 and 1 1/16 in different trips. One of them, he was dead last. He circled the field. The other one, he was put into gear a little bit earlier and was more forward. I think looking at his progression, first race of the year, shake the dust off. They wanted to go long. They had to opt for a turf spot just with the way the race was filled, and it didn't work out. But he took a nice step forward last time out, but he was just second best behind If You Insist. So we'll see if he can take another step forward in here and if he gets the right setup. But I thought all eyes deserve to be on the bookends here of the starting gate, the 1 Baxley and the 5 If You Insist. And I'll go with the local runner here, the 5 If You Insist on top. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's second race. Race 2 is an allowance race with no conditions for 3-year-olds and upward, traveling a distance of 1 mile and 70 yards, competing for a purse of $28,800. Race 2 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent pick 5. Correction, no show wagering in race 2. No show wagering. Race 2 post parade will come back to number 1. Number 2 is Conn Smythe. Jeffrey Alderson rides for trainer Desmond Maynard and owner Nadia Donlava. Number 3 is Scat Factor. Alexis Sanchez has the call for trainer Allison Jennings and owner Logan Freitz. Robert Smith owns the number 4 Audax Minor. Chad Lee has the call for trainer Steve Cathcart. Number 5 is If You Insist. Luis Contreras picks up the mount for trainer Mark Fournier and owners Tanya Orth, Dean Zaniel, and David Green. And we're still waiting for number 1 Baxley to make it out on track. There's 2 minutes to post for race 2. The pick 5 wager kicks off here. And on screen now, we'll look at number 1 Baxley, ridden today by Praven Badri for trainer Harold Lattiser and owner Kirk Sutherland. Race 2 field is approaching the starting gate. Last call to get your wagers in. Pick 5 wagering kicks off here. Even money favorite is the number 1, Baxley. Get those pick 5 wagers in. And race 2 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. They've backed in Scott Factor. Alexis Sanchez to climb back aboard. To the inside, Baxley with Praven Badgery. Conn Smythe and Jeffrey Alderson trying the dirt for the first time here. Audax Minor and Chad Lee to gate 4. And last in will be If You Insist, looking to go 3 for 3 this season. Luis Contreras aboard. All set. They're off over a mile 70. If You Insist broke well. Baxley ridden along for some speed down along the inside. Then Conn Smythe racing in 3rd. A length to Scott Factor racing in 4th in the 2-path, and well back to a slightly slow starting Audax Minor. They race within the 7. It's Baxley now taking the lead under Praven Badgery, a half length to If You Insist and Contreras, who's tugging at the rider. Good position 3rd on the inside for Conn Smythe with Jeffrey Alderson, 2 lengths better than Scott Factor and Alexis Sanchez. Then it's a gap of 5 back to Audax Minor. The opening quarter was 23-1. They turn into the backside. If You Insist puts the head in front of Baxley, who fights right back on down along the rail. 1.5 to Conn Smythe on the inside, a half length better than Scott Factor, and still well back to Audax Minor. A half mile to the wire, 46-1 to the half. It's still Baxley and If You Insist duking it out on the front end. Conn Smythe running along in 3rd on the inside of Scott Factor, and still 6 lengths back to Audax Minor, who's never been a threat. They race within the 3. Baxley and If You Insist still head and head. If You Insist going a bit better on the inside. Scott Factor comes into 3rd as Conn Smythe begins to tire, and Audax Minor is trailed throughout. 2 furlongs to home, 1:10 and 3 for 3/4. If You Insist has the lead from Baxley. Scott Factor the only threat down the far outside. It's If You Insist and Luis Contreras up by a length, but Scott Factor is closing. He's had plenty of pace to run at. Audax Minor down the far outside. If You Insist clinging to the lead, but here's Scott Factor and Alexis Sanchez. Scott Factor sits a perfect trip and goes on to win 3 parts of a length. If You Insist, then Baxley, Audax Minor, and Conn Smythe, 142 and 3. Unofficial in race 2, the winner is number 3, Scott Factor. Second, number 5, If You Insist. Third, number 1, Baxley. And fourth, number 4, Audax Minor. Unofficial race 2 order, 3-5-1-4. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's second race, number 3, Scat Factor. Scat Factor is a 5-year-old Greyer Roan gelding by The Factor out of Scatgal, bred here in Ontario by Robert Marzilli. Ridden to victory today by Alexis Sanchez, Scat Factor is trained by Allison Jennings for Logan Freitz. First win of the season for Scat Factor, his 5th lifetime win in 25 starts. He sits off the pace and gets up to win, completing the mile 70 in a time of 1:42.3. Congratulations to the connections of Scat Factor. Hold all tickets until race 2 is made official. Race 2 is now official. Prices are up. Scat Factor returns $14.90 to win and $7.60 to place. Number 5, If You Insist, $8.30 to place. No show wagering in race 2. $2 exacta, 3.5, 50.10. The $1 try, 3.51, 45.65. $1 super, 3.514, $144.55. And the $2 double, 6.3, 30.80. The dogs are back this summer. Basset Hound and Corgi races coming up on August 3rd. We want to say thank you to our partners at True Green Professional Lawn Care who have been helping us keep the grass looking green and lush. And a shout out to our partners at All-in-One Legal Concierge. If you have legal hurdles, you can bet on All-in-One. Race 3 changes, an overweight on the number 2 Free Charging, 5 pounds over at 122. Rider change on the number 5 Final Run for Love, make the rider Jeffrey Alderson. And Stewart scratch the main track only, number 7 Let's Go Liam. 18 minutes to post.
Late pick 4 gets underway here in race number 3. It's our first turf event on the card at about 7 furlongs. It's for non-winners of 2 life, colts and geldings, in for a claiming price of $6,250. I'll kick things off here with the number 3, Wolf Beach, a horse that's 0 for 3 here on the turf course, but ran fairly well last time out. It was the second start of the year, was able to take a step forward and actually a jump up in class. When we first saw this horse return to the races this year, you can see he was in for 8,000 in a race that was carted for the turf and moved to the main track at 5 furlongs, and just felt like he chased in there. He never got going. Tiernan, the winner, took them gate to wire, if I'm not mistaken, got a 73 Beyer speed figure, very speedy in there for those connections. And, you know, Wolf Beach didn't really fire, a pretty low Beyer, but getting back onto the grass last time out, stretching out around 2 turns, I think we saw those signs of life once again, where he was quite forward. Emil Ramsamy was aboard and just, you know, tracked in there, came up third best, beaten by just 2 3/4. I feel like it's a performance he can build upon. This is class relief. I know sometimes we look at the allowance, you go in for 62.50, you wonder how much class relief it is. I'm of the mindset that it is class relief, and others are getting it too, but I do wonder in terms of trip if you could get the right one simply close to the pace. So Wolf Beach on top, the 4. Rami Speitster up next here for Danny Wills. Had a really nice day yesterday, winning 2 races on the card, one of which was a grass race. This is a horse that comes out of a allowance event for non-winners of 2 life, where he showed speed and he faded. But I think not only does he get class relief, he's making just his second start off the freshening. And I went to some of his form. He's a little inconsistent for me. I feel like at his best, he probably wins this race, but it's not a thing that I see in his past performances where he's typically firing back-to-back really good races. So I guess today maybe he takes a step forward and get it done. He's just a little bit of a tough read for me, and you kind of look at his races here. I wonder how he's going to fare here 2 turns on the turf based on what we saw last time out. I hope that he doesn't fade. I hope that he just needed the race under his belt and he's a little bit more fit. We'll round it out here with my 3rd pick, the number 5 in here, Final Run for Love for Roy Augustino, a horse that you always have to look out for. He's typically getting the minor shares here. I think looking at his races, he's been 4th in both of his turf events this season and different trips, one of which he's a little bit closer to it, and then more recently he tried to roll from the back of the pack. He was unable to crack into the top 3, but he was moving quite well in the final stages. And as I look at the races last year, especially in this time, right, getting to kind of the later part of the summer months, especially in August last year, he really got better as he got more races under his belt. So I'm curious to see if there is enough pace for him in front of him, because I do think he's going to roll from off of it. And if there is, we can see that makes all the difference. I know it was a dirt race here in race 2, but the fractions were swift. We did see scat factor close. I think on this turf course, it's something else to be mindful of, that if they are kind of rocking and rolling early on, we should see a closer get the job done. But for me, I go to the 3 as the top pick, Wolf Beach. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's third race. Race 3 is a claiming race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Going for a claiming price of $6,250 down to $6,000, traveling about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $24,375. Race 3 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent late pick 4 wagering. Race 3 post parade, number 1 is Roombaba. Helen Vanek rides for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owner Bruno Schickadans. Number 2 is Free Charging. Ishmael Mascara has the call for trainer Beverly Curto, who owns in partnership with Beverly Collins. Number 3 is Wolf Beach, racing for Lincoln and Ashley Rodhay. Emil Ramsamy rides for trainer Michael Cohen. Number 4 is Arami's Speightster. Luis Reyes pilots for trainer Danny Wills and owner Jeannie Ryan. Number 5 is Final Run for Love. Jeffrey Alderson picks up the mount for trainer Roy Augustino and owner Amanda Ezra. Completing the field, number 6, Zimbabwe. Chad Lee rides for trainer Cindy Musto, who owns in partnership with Gary Wright. Scratch the 7, 2 minutes to post for race 3. Late pick 4 wagering starts here. We are on the turf. Starting gate taking position. Field about to make their way onto the turf course. Last call to get your race 3 wagers in. Late pick 4 wagering starts here. 6-5 favorite is the number 3 Wolf Beach. 5-2 on both number 4 Arami Speightster and 5 Final Run for Love. Last call to get your race 3 wagers in. They'll be heading to post shortly. Race 3 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Co-favorite at 2-1 are 3 Wolf Beach, 4 Arami Speightster, and 5 Final Run for Love. They're going to begin by backing in Rhumbaba. Rhumbaba backs in. Helen Vanek to climb back aboard. The mare free charging with Ishmael Mascara to gate 2. Wolf Beach and Emil Ramsamy. Arami Speightster with Luis Reyes. Rhumbaba's a bit restless in the gate. Arami Speightster comes up. Final Run for Love with Jeffrey Alderson. Is now the slight favorite at 9-5. Last in will be Zimbabwe with Chad Lee. All set. They're off. Arami Speightster hustled for speed from the center of the gate with Wolf Beach to his inside. Rhumbaba a bit rank in the early stages. Just might have clipped heels there. Final Run for Love getting away mid-pack as Zimbabwe rushes up 3 wide. The early trailer is the mare, free charging. Arami Speightster sets the pace, but he's being challenged now by Zimbabwe. Good position third on the inside for Wolf Beach. Final Run for Love, mid-pack about 5 lengths off the lead. Then we have Rhumbaba, who comes off the inside and still trailing is free charging. The opening quarter was 25-2. They're about 8 lengths front to back. Arami Speightster and Luis Reyes lead the charge with Zimbabwe and Chad Lee to their outside. Wolf Beach and Ramsamy in tight down along the inside. Now Final Run for Love gets closer as Rhumbaba makes a 3-wide rush. It's still 3 more lengths back to free charging. They race out of the backstretch and into the turn. Little is changed up front. It's still Arami Speightster being pressed by Zimbabwe. Now Rhumbaba joins the fray after the half in 50-2. Wolf Beach has nowhere to go. Final Run for Love is next, trying to rally up the inside, and free charging is still at the back. They're within the quarter-mile pole. It's still Arami Speightster. Final Run for Love trying to rally up the inside with Wolf Beach still there. Zimbabwe begins to tire. It's Arami Speightster, Wolf Beach, and here comes Final Run for Love. The 3 favorites duking it out in the final furlong. Here's Final Run for Love and Jeffrey Alderson. Wolf Beach game, but Final Run for Love will prove best. Final Run for Love a neck. Then Wolf Beach, Arami Speightster, Zimbabwe, free charging, and Rhumbaba, 127-4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118,
Unofficial in race 3, the winner is number 5, Final Run for Love. Second, number 3, Wolf Beach. Third, number 4, Arami Speightster. And fourth, number 6, Zimbabwe. Unofficial race 3 order, 5, 3, 4, 6. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a rider's claim of foul into the running of race 3. The rider of number 1, Rumbaba, claiming foul against the unofficial second place finisher, number 3, Wolf Beach, alleging interference running into the first turn. Once again, that is a rider's claim of foul, 1 against 3, alleging interference going into the first turn. Hold all tickets. This does not involve the unofficial winner. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's third race, number 5, Final Run for Love. Final Run for Love is a 6-year-old dark bay or brown wriggling by Jiu-Jitsu Jacks out of Galloping Damour, bred here in Ontario by Bruno Chickadans. Jeffrey Alderson picks up the mount for a perfect winning ride. Final Run for Love is trained by Roy Augustino for Mandy Ezra. Second lifetime win for Final Run for Love, who rallies to complete the about 7 furlongs in a winning time of 1:27.4 in the eye-catching Pink Silks. Congratulations to the connections of Final Run for Love. Hold all tickets until race 3 is made official. The inquiry is still ongoing. Ladies and gentlemen, there's an additional rider's claim of foul here. The rider of number 2, Free Charging, also alleging interference against the number 3, Wolf Beach, on the first turn. So now 2 riders' claims of foul, 1 and 2, both against the 3, running into the first turn. So the inquiry is ongoing. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a placing for interference to the number 1, Roombaba. Number 3, Wolf Beach, has been disqualified from second and placed 6th. Once again, that is a disqualification of the runner-up, number 3, Wolf Beach, from second, now placed 6th. Race 3 new order is 5462. Once again, for interference in the run into the first turn, number 3, Wolf Beach, has been disqualified from second and placed 6th. New order 5462 will be made official shortly. And race 3 is now official. Prices are up. Final Run for Love returns $680 to win, $320 and $270. Second, number 4, Arami Speightster, $380 to place, $360. Third, number 6, Zimbabwe, $690 to show. $2 exacta, 5-4, 25-10. The $1 try, 5-4-6, $160.55. $1 super, 5-4-6-2, $646.20. $2 double, 3-5, $33.70. And the $1 pick 3, $72.85. And we'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Michael Sacco, celebrating the big 74 here with us today. Happy birthday, Michael, from all of your friends and family here at Fort Erie Racetrack. We all love you lots. Fort Erie's partnered this year with Portage M&A Advisory. You've already made history. Now it's time to make your future. Race 4 coming up in 13 minutes. There are no changes.
Race 4 is an allowance event. Non-winners of 3 life set to compete here at the 6.5 furlong distance on the main track. And looking at this field of Colton Geldings, to me this actually felt like probably the most competitive race on the card, because there are races that you can go to historically for some of these runners that would certainly put them in the mix at the top spot in here. So we'll have to see who's best today. I think looking at the 6.5 furlong distance, it's also something to factor in. And the 4, Glitton Daddy's Eye, you might look at the last 2 and go, I don't know if he wants to go 6.5. I'm of the opinion in those races, at least last time out, he might have been a little bit more forward than he prefers to be. I mean, with this track, you really don't want to be too far off of it most days, but they went really quick in there when you look at the fractions. 21 and 4, 44 and 2 to the half, and he was right there. He finds the lead late, and then Short Story Long was able to close from off of it and get the job done. So I just feel like with the fractions that unfolded, he ran well. He was just a little too close to kind of a speedy pace in there. It was almost suicidal in the end. So I like him in here. I like him stretching out. Looked at some of his races last year. He seems more comfortable 1 or 2 off of it in those efforts, especially going 6.5 where he was able to get up to win. And a couple of others, he was really far back, but still made a nice impression late to at least get the minors. So gave him the edge in here. I don't want to see him too keyed up in here, but still close to things early on. The 3, Her to Ghost, comes in here fresh off a win where he tackled allowance foes last time out, non-winners of 2 life, but the big difference was a turf race going 7 furlongs. So he cuts back to 6.5, 2 turns to 1 turn, and I do think last time out a lot came down to the ride, and obviously that rider opted for somewhere else in here, but love that Helen Vanek has the call. I think this is a horse that he's going to give his effort wherever he's placed, but sometimes he has been way too far back, and that was sort of the case too back when he was second behind. My math is correct too. We can see through the run line, went gate to wire, and this horse was able to close from nearly last in that event. So I think today Helen should have this one in a forward position, and we'll just see if the form can hold up. A really nice buyer last time out, but it was on the turf. Has some decent dirt figures, except for those typically have been with some moisture in the track, but still wanted to give this horse some respect in here off the really solid recent form. And then finally the number 5 in here goes forward for the first time since June of 2025. And when we saw him, he was in the long run retirement, one of our cup races here where he had to face the likes of Garofoli, Victory March, Shaku Maku, just very deep waters. And he's a little bit of a big guy when you watch him. He carries a lot of weight. I don't know if kind of in that event he necessarily wanted to go 5.5. I prefer him at maybe 6.5 or 7. And I think here with our configuration, you have to go 6.5. And I really think he could come to life here. I don't want to hold that one start against him. He's had plenty of time off, but you can see in terms of his workouts, he's had nice spacing between them, breezing regularly. I thought he made a really good impression here in the paddock, and just curious to see what he can do, because we can see some of his races. He certainly had talent when you go back to 2024. We just have to see if he's ready to roll in his first start in over a year. But for me, the 4, Glitton Daddy's Eyes on top, followed by the 3, Her to Ghost, and round out the top 3 here with the 5, Diomedes. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's 4th race. Race 4 is an allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races, traveling a distance of 6.5 furlongs, competing for a purse of $28,800. Race 4 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, and 20-cent pick 3 wagering. Race 4 Post Parade, number 1 is Catholic Jackie. Luis Contreras rides for trainer Roy Augustino and owner John DiMatteo. Number 2 is My Math is Correct. Kirk Johnson has the call for trainer Julie Mathis and owner David Mathis. Number 3 is Herd a Ghost. Helen Vanek pilots for trainer Mike Blake and owners Ascot Stud, Mike Blake Sr., Amanda Enns, and Mark Stout. Number 4 is Glint and Daddy's Eye, racing for Bermuda Blue Farm and Icon Racing Stables. Luis Reyes rides for trainer Tony Adamo. Number 5 is Diomedes. Deshaun Gaskin rides for trainer Kevin Buttigieg and owner Henley Thoroughbreds. Completing the field, number 6, Times a Breeze, racing for Hopefield Farm. Leo Salas rides for trainer Roy Augustino. 3 minutes to post for race 4. Final rolling pick 3 of the day starts here. Not too much time left to get your race 4 wagers in. Current favorite at 4 to 5 is the number 4, Glint and Daddy's Eye. 3 to 1 on the number 1, Catholic Jackie. 5 to 1 on number 5, Diomedes. Final chance to play a rolling pick 3 on today's card. Get those wagers in now. Race 4 field is in the chute, approaching the starting gate. Last call to get your wagers in. And race 4 field is set to head behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Still favored at 6-5 is the number 4, Glinton Daddy's Eye. 2-1 now on number 1, Catholic Jackie. Non-winners of 3 allowance types to go 6.5 furlongs here as we kick off the back half of today's Tuesday card. First to go in is Catholic Jackie with Luis Contreras, one of 2 for the Roy Augustino barn here. The gray, My Math Is Correct, with Kirk Johnson. Last out winner, Herda Ghost with Helen Vanek. The favorite, Glinton Daddy's Eye and Luis Reyes. Diomedes makes his first start of the year here under Deshaun Gaskin. Diomedes comes up. Last in will be Times a Breeze and Leo Salas. All set. They're off. A good beginning. My Math Is Correct out well from the inside with Glinton Daddy's Eye. Herda Ghost taking back early. Third on the outside is Diomedes with Catholic Jackie mid-pack saving ground, and Times a Breeze closer to the pace than normal. They race down the backside and approach the 5 furlong marker. The lead belongs to My Math Is Correct and Kirk Johnson, a length and a half to the pair of Diomedes and Glinton Daddy's Eye. Catholic Jackie is 4th on the inside as they complete the opening quarter in 22-3. Between horses, Herda Ghost, and out 3 deep is Times a Breeze. 3.5 furlongs to travel. It's My Math Is Correct, still unchallenged on the lead. Glinton Daddy's Eye is 2nd with Diomedes 3rd. Herda Ghost moving well, 4th on the outside with Catholic Jackie, and Times a Breeze hard ridden at the back. Midway round the turn, little has changed. The half was 45-1. It's still Math Is Correct, trying to take them gate to wire, but here comes Glinton Daddy's Eye, moving well on the outside. Catholic Jackie has rallied into 3rd on the inside of Herda Ghost with just over a furlong to go. It's Glinton Daddy's Eye trying to deal with a persistent My Math Is Correct. Herda Ghost is 3rd and Catholic Jackie 4th. My Math Is Correct finds another gear, and it's going to be My Math Is Correct to take them coast to coast. My Math Is Correct and Kirk Johnson over Glinton Daddy's Eye, then Herda Ghost, Catholic Jackie, Times a Breeze, and Diomedes. 6.5 in 116 flat. Unofficial in race 4, the winner is number 2, My Math Is Correct. Second, number 4, Glinton Daddy's Eye. Third, number 3, Herda Ghost. And fourth, number 1, Catholic Jackie. Unofficial race 4 order, 2-4-3-1. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's fourth race, number 2, My Math is Correct. My Math is Correct is a 4-year-old Grey Roan gelding by Frack Daddy out of Lady Sarah, bred here in Ontario by Megan Allen and Leslie Krause. Ridden to victory today by Kirk Johnson, My Math is Correct is trained by Julie Mathis for David Mathis. Second win of the season for My Math is Correct, third lifetime win in 13 starts. He responds to a front-end challenge and completes the 6.5 furlongs in a winning time of 1:16 flat. Congratulations to the connections of My Math is Correct. Hold all tickets until race 4 is made official. Race 4 is now official. Prices are up. My Math is Correct returns $15.10 to win, $6.40 and $3.60. Second, number 4, Glinton Daddy's Eye, $2.40 to place $2.10. Third, number 3, Heard a Ghost, $2.70 to show. $2 Exacta, $2.4, $32.40. The $1 Try, $2.43, $52.20. $1 Super, $2.431, $147 even. The $2 Double, $5.2, $67.70. $1 Pick 3, $214.30, and the $1 Early Pick 4 returned $801.50. And we'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Mary Kate, celebrating here with us today. Happy birthday, Mary Kate, from all of your friends and family here at Fort Erie Racetrack. We'd like to give a shout out to one of our sponsors at FINA Insurance Solutions. FINA Insurance will see you through to the finish line. This year, the Trackside Tiki Bar has been sponsored by The Place Bar and Grill, the place to go after the races at 981 Garrison Road. Race 5 changes, a rider change on the number 7 Frack City, make the rider Robert Stewart. 16 minutes to post for race 5.
Race 5 up next. It's a maiden claiming event. Claiming price is $6,250. These Colton Geldings will square off at the 6 furlong distance. A really nice field of 8 going forward. We have a little bit of everything. Horses trying the dirt for the first time. We have a first-time starter on the outside. Trainer changes, you name it. And kind of looking at this group, I went to the 2 Sassagoula River, who I am watching very carefully and looking at his behavior right now because, well, his lone time here, he was not very well behaved. He was pretty bad on the track and then loading, and then he just broke atrociously. I think that's the best word I can come up with, the way that he broke out of the gate and still tried to run late. The positive is, since then, 2 really good efforts, where this one's been in the top 3 in both of them. Opposite trips. You can see 2 back. This horse is right up there where they were going a little bit on the faster side in comparison to his next effort. And he just tired a little bit to finish second after being part of the pace. And then more recently, they went a little bit slower. He tried to roll from off of it. He failed as the favorite. He was just 3rd best, but you can see the winner was much the best, winning by over 6 lengths. So kind of looking at him, I do think if he can just mind his manners, he is the horse to beat in here. And the positive, you can see, Ryder knows him well, so that's, I think, a positive. So use the 2 Sassagoula River on top. Looking at some others, the number 5 Hard Performer. Hard to knock based on what we've seen here. 2 for 2 in the money, 2 second-place finishes, and that's been key. This horse has early foot. We saw this horse prior to coming at 40 in a race at Parks where it was a compact field. The horse showed speed and did tire late to finish second. It was going a mile on 70. Cut back here to 6.5, had a very sizable lead throughout the race and just shortened up late where Z-Hub was able to get the job done. And then more recently, I thought just chased in vain where the winner was ready to roll on debut, had some sharp gate drills, and was able to kind of sneak away on the front end. So I'm always confused about this horse's trip and where he's going to be. I think he wants to be forward. He just sometimes hangs a little bit. So that's why I just didn't have the faith in using him as my top pick. But obviously, I think the graduation score is just around the corner here for the 5 Hard Performer. And finally, the number 4 Reporter comes up next, the son of Acoma, who I liked a fair bit last time out, exits that same race as Hard Performer and Silent Mort, and didn't really run all that well. And watching the race live, you could see this horse that day was towards the inside of the track where there was some water sitting, and just his action, I mean, he looked like he was trying to swim uphill. It just was really tough for him on the inside, and 4th best in there. I'm really excited to see him over this fast surface today. I think that could be a big difference maker. Second time here. They're not doing anything creative, right? He's just jumping down a little bit, I should say, dropping down a little bit in class. But I really think, based on his pedigree, the dirt should be in his wheelhouse. I just don't think he liked the off track last time out. But that horse that just went by, the 2 Sassagoula River, is going to be my top pick here in the 5th. Best of luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's 5th race. Race 5 is a maiden claiming race for 3-year-olds and up. Going for a claiming price of $6,250 down to $6,000, traveling a distance of 6 furlongs, competing for a purse of $23,700. Race 5 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, and 20-cent superfecta wagering. Race 5 post parade, number 1 is Blazing Song. Chad Lee rides for trainer Julie Mathis and owner Bruno Schickadans. Away from parade, number 2, Sasagula River. Leo Salas pilots for trainer Roy Augustino and owner Born to Run Racing Stable. Number 3 is Silent Mort. Helen Vanek riding for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owners Winston and Carol Wilkinson. Number 4 is Reporter. Praven Badgery rides for trainer Phil Hall, who owns with Dan Gleason, Blair Law, and Brian Albertson. Marvin Richards owns and trains the number 5, Hard Performer. The rider is Kirk Johnson. Number 6 is Tannist. Jeffrey Alderson rides for trainer Danny Wills and owner Paul O'Brien. Number 7 is Frack City. Robert Stewart picks up the mount for trainer Ken Smith and owner Radcliffe Racing Stable. And completing the field, number 8, Mixed Up Misfit. Michael David riding for trainer Alicia Robillard and owner Bruno Schickadans. Late double wagering offered here in the 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the winners of today's non-winning ticket prize draws to announce. Could Mary K. Sue and Greta Arby please head to customer service? Once again, that's Mary K. Sue and Greta Arby. Congratulations. You are today's non-winning ticket prize draw winners. Please head to customer service to collect your prize. Not too much time left to get your race 5 wagers in. They're heading into the chute before the starting gate takes position. Current favorite at 6-5 is the number 2, Sasagula River. 2-1 on the number 5, Hard Performer, and 9-2 on the number 3, Silent Mort. This race kicks off the late double on today's card. Get those wagers in. Race 5 field headed up to the starting gate. It is now post time. They've already loaded Sasagula River, who's your 6-5 favorite, at post time. Field of 8 maiden claimers to kick off the late double on today's card. Blazing Song with Chad Lee to gate 1. Goes up Silent Mort and Helen Vanek have gate 3. Reporter with Praven Badri. Riders off Reporter. Still fractious behind the gate, Reporter. Goes up, Praven Badri to climb back aboard. Hard Performer and Kirk Johnson, the 2-1 second choice in the green cap. Tannist and Jeffrey Alderson. Jeffrey Alderson looking for his second win on the day. Frack City and Robert Stewart. And completing the line, the first-time starter, Mixed Up Misfit with Michael David. Still waiting on Mixed Up Misfit. Bit of a reaction in the gate from Reporter and Hard Performer. They've backed out Reporter, and it looks like Hard Performer is being backed out as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a late vet scratch here in the 5th race. Scratch by the commission veterinarian, the number 4 Reporter. Vet scratch, the number 4 Reporter. Win, play, show, exact, or try, super, and double wagers on Reporter will be refunded. If you are live to Reporter in any pick 3, pick 4, or pick 5s, you will inherit the post-time favorite. Once again, that is a late vet scratch of the number 4 Reporter here in today's 5th race. Slight delay for the start. And take two, reloading for today's fifth race. Blazing Song, Sasagula River, and Silent Mort are already back in position. Hard Performer takes his spot. Tannist will be up next. Frack City and Robert Stewart. Mixed Up Misfit and Mikey David will complete the line. Still waiting on Mixed Up Misfit. And it looks like Mixed Up Misfit is in. We're all set. They're off. Blazing Song out slowly. Sasagula River hard ridden from the start. Early speed from the center for Hard Performer and Silent Mort, who battle early. Tannist is third with Frack City to his outside, and now Sasagula River advancing towards the rail. It's about 7 more lengths back to the slow starting Blazing Song. Midway down the backstretch, it's still a speed duel up front. Hard Performer on the outside of Silent Mort. They complete the opening quarter in 22-2. Sasagula River is into third on the inside with Tannist. Frack City is falling back, well back to Blazing Song, and I don't know if Mixed Up Misfit came out of the starting gate. Midway around the turn, less than 5/16 to travel. It's Hard Performer now taking the advantage from Silent Mort, moving well on the front end. Tannist is inching a bit closer on the outside in third with Sasagula River fourth. The half was 45-1. They reached ahead of the lane. It's still Hard Performer, not asked for much. Silent Mort is tired. Tannist looks like the threat with Sasagula River down the far outside, but coming down to the wire, a 16th to go. Hard Performer is extending the margin. Hard Performer and Kirk Johnson are up by 5. The battle is for place between Tannist and Silent Mort, but Hard Performer prevails. Hard Performer by 5 over Tannist and Silent Mort, Sasagula River, Frack City, and Blazing Song. 6 furlongs in 1:11-1. Stewards have lit the inquiry sign looking at the start of the number 8, Mixed Up Misfit. Unofficial in race 5, the winner is number 5, Hard Performer. Second, number 6, Tannist. Third, number 3, Silent Mort. And fourth, number 2, Sasagula River. Unofficial race 5 order, 5, 6, 3, 2. Once again, there's a steward's inquiry looking into the start of the number 8, Mixed Up Misfit. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's 5th race, number 5, Hard Performer. Hard Performer is a bay horse, breaking his maiden at 7 years young. He's by Hard Spun out of High Performer. Bred in Kentucky by Nursery Place, Donaldson, and Broadbent. A riding double on the card today for Kirk Johnson. Hard Performer is owned and trained by Marvin Richards. Hard Performer, after a couple of runner-up efforts here at Fort Erie, breaks the maiden in his third attempt. Breaks the maiden in lifetime start number 8, completing the 6 furlongs in a winning time of 1:11.1. Congratulations to the connections of Hard Performer. Hold all tickets until race 5 is made official. The steward's inquiry is ongoing, and I was wrong. Mixed Up Misfit certainly did come out of the starting gate. Stewards have determined that the number 8 Mixed Up Misfit did receive a fair start. Just took a sharp right out of the gate. So there'll be no change. Race 5 order 5632 will be made official shortly. Race 5 is now official. Prices are up. Hard Performer returns $860 to win, $450 and $360. Second, number 6, Tanis, $770 to place, $560. Third, number 3, Silent Mort, $350 to show. $2 exacta, $5.6, $48.50. The $1 try, $5.63, $71.15. $1 super, $5.632, $104.10. $2 double, $2.5, $52.90. The consolation double with the late scratch number 4, $12.40. And the $1 pick 3, $204.65. We had a claim out of race 5. Number 2, Sasagula River, claimed by Lincoln Rodhay, moves to the barn of trainer Mike Cohen. This year's Fort Foodie Fest is sponsored by TELUS. TELUS Pure Fiber Internet is expanding in more areas of St. Catharines. Race 6 closes out the card. A rider change on the number 7, Yeah No, make the rider Luis Contreras. Stewart scratch the number 8 Solve and take out the main track only number 9 Noisy Girl. 18 minutes to post for race 6. And all of us here at Fort Erie, especially the veterinarian team, would like to wish a get well soon to Ed Benchina. Get well soon, Ed, from all of your friends and family here at Fort Erie.
We round out another week of racing here in the 6th. It's a maiden special weight event for the fillies and mares at about 7 furlongs. And we do have a pair of scratches on the outside. The 8's out as well as the 9. And that's really going to affect the wagering with the 8 solve being out, because that one would have been heavily favored amongst this group of fillies and mares. And now, curious to see how it all sorts itself out. The original horse that I used in the second spot is now going to be bumped up to the top pick. That's the number 1 in here, Tazara, daughter of Tiz the Law for Stephen Chirkop, who was able to take the nightcap yesterday with one of his horses coming in from Woodbine. This is one that it's a little bit of a tough read for me. I do think this is some class relief. You look at the last two, they've made this effort to put this one routing on the turf course, on the inner turf course up at Woodbine. Showed speed in the one start, didn't show a whole lot last time out. But I do wonder with the inside draw, if this horse can get a forward trip and save ground, maybe finds her friends today. And got to look at her. She's actually really good looking, dappled out. You can see she's extremely well taken care of, and she was very calm coming to get saddled. And I am assuming she'll be the same when she gets out here to the outdoor walking ring. So used her on top. It's tough to see the trip for her, though. The number 5, No Mistake. I mean, she's consistent. Obviously, she's 3 for 6 in the money. Has been in the barn, of Joe Humber for those last 3. And maybe just didn't like the dirt in that cup race here on opening day. Since then, both in the money finishes up at Woodbine, while in for 14,000 and then 9,500 in that last outing. And almost the same trip in both of them. I think needs to do a little bit better. I am curious to see how she'll handle the stretch out from the 1 turn 6 furlongs on the Tapeta to 2 turns here on the grass. But I'm willing to give her a pass in that first start for the barn. I have a feeling she doesn't really like the dirt, which sometimes is a little shocking knowing she's by Super Speedy. So understand why they took a shot with her in that cup race on opening day. And finally, the number 7, got a good look at her. She's a daughter of Passion for Action, who is kind of a lighter frame. She's got a long body on her. She's not big and kind of a bulky sort of filly. Pretty kind of fit looking. She's interesting because she really hadn't done much last year in those 3 starts. If you look at her this year, I thought, her efforts were okay. She didn't beat a whole lot of horses in those races, but I do think there's some upside here coming to this spot in particular. I like her stretching out in distance and getting onto the grass. And you can see here, rider will be Luis Contreras aboard, So liked what I saw from her. I will make a couple of other comments here. Julie Mathis sends out a pair, the 3 TriStar Fury and the 6 Daring Dame. These are some big gals. They carry a lot of weight, kind of looking at them, a lot of muscle on them. The 3 is just kind of a big bone filly. She made a lovely impression, but watching Daring Dame getting saddled here on the walk, I thought she looked good as well. So those 2 should be kind of the bigger price on the board, especially the 3 between the 2 stablemates. But an interesting way here to round out another week of racing. It looks like this could set up for an upset. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's sixth and final race. Race 6 is a maiden allowance race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, traveling about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $26,550. Race 6 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, 20-cent super, and 20-cent jackpot high five wagering. Race 6 post parade, number 1 is Tizara. Deshaun Gaskin rides for trainer Steve Chirkop and owner JDLP Holdings. Away from parade, number 2, Hatrixie Moment. Robert Stewart in the saddle for trainer Ted Holder and owner Canny Ing. Number 3 is TriStar Fury. Chad Lee pilots for trainer Julie Mathis and owner Bruno Schickadans. Number 4 is Arctic Velocity. Corey Jordan riding for trainer Paul Epien and owner MPB Stables. Robert Elkins owns the number 5, No Mistake. Leo Salas rides for trainer Joe Humber. Number 6 is Daring Dames, Errol Ford riding for trainer Julie Mathis and owner David Mathis. Completing the field, number 7, Ya No. Luis Contreras picks up the mount for trainer Joan Mitchell and owners Ken Lee, Dennis Mitchell, and Twin Bullet Stable. Scratch numbers 8 and 9, 2 minutes to post for race 6. Jackpot high five wagering offered here. We are on the turf. Field is making their way onto the turf course. Last call to get your race 6 wagers in. Current favorite at 2-1 is the number 5, No Mistake. 3-1 on the number 6, Daring Dame. 4-1 on number 2, Hatrixie Moment. Jackpot high five wagering offered here. About $3,200 up for grabs in the carryover tonight. Get those wagers in. We're on the turf for the nightcap. And race 6 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Field of 7 maiden fillies and mares to go the extended 7 furlongs to close out the card. Very fractious behind the gate is Hatrixie Moment. And stand by. Hatrixie Moment is loose in the infield. So there will be a delay before today's 6th race. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a late scratch here in today's 6th race. By order of the stewards, take out the number 2, Hatrixie Moment. Hatrixie Moment is a late steward scratch. Here in the 6th race, win, play, show, exact or try, super and high five wagers on Hatrixie Moment will be refunded. If you had Hatrixie Moment in any live pick 3, pick 4, pick 5 wagers, you will inherit the post-time favorite. Once again, that is a late steward scratch of the number 2, Hatrixie Moment. There will be a delay before the start of today's 6th race. Well, a Trixie Moment has been apprehended after taking a bit of a stroll through the Fort Erie infield. Got to see parts of the racetrack up close that many of us never get to, between the trees and the lakes, and quite the sightseeing journey he took. So once he is off the course, we'll be ready to reload, and race 6 will be ready for a start. And riders are being legged back up. But fractious on the course is no mistake. And first to reload will be Tizara with Deshaun Gaskin. So we're scratched down to a field of 6 to close out the day here at Fort Erie. Chad Lee back aboard TriStar Fury will be the next to come in. Arctic Velocity and Corey Jordan. Goes up. No Mistake in Leo Salez. Daring Dame with Zerrell Ford will come to her position. And the last in will be Ya No with Luis Contreras. And at long last, we're all set for the nightcap. They're off. A good beginning. Speed from the center for No Mistake with Daring Dame to her outside rushing up. Under a hold in third, trying to get covered up in a pocket is Tizara with Arctic Velocity to her outside. Ya No falling back in the early trailer is TriStar Fury. They race into the turn or past the 6 furlong marker, and it's Daring Dame and Zerrell Ford up by 2. No Mistake in Leo Salez second. Tizara and Gaskin come off the inside into the 2 path, and that takes Arctic Velocity 3 wide. It's a gap of 5 back to Ya No and Luis Contreras, and well back to TriStar Fury and Chad Lee, who has 10 lengths to make up on the leader. Midway down the backside, it is Daring Dame moving comfortably on the front end. The opening quarter was 24-2. No Mistake second on the inside, racing as a pair with Tizara. Arctic Velocity has found her way back down to the inside. Then it's 2.5 lengths to Ya No, and getting a bit closer from the back is TriStar Fury. 47 and 4 to the half. It's still Daring Dame on top. No Mistake has to keep up. Arctic Velocity is moving well up the inside, and here comes Yeah No making a 3-wide rally past Tizara. TriStar Fury still at the back. They reached ahead of the lane. Daring Dame trying to take them gate to wire. Arctic Velocity with good momentum up the inside, and here comes Yeah No out widest. No, Arctic Velocity looking for a path. Yeah No sweeps to control. It's Yeah No and Luis Contreras. Arctic Velocity getting into second, but it's too late. Yeah No is getting away. Yeah No and Luis Contreras geared down to win by 3.5. Arctic Velocity, a bit of a troubled second there, then Daring Dame. Tizara, No Mistake, and TriStar Fury, 127 and 3. Unofficial in race 6, the winner is number 7, Yeah No. Second is the 4, Arctic Velocity. Third, number 6, Daring Dame. Fourth, number 1, Tizara. Fifth was number 5, No Mistake. Unofficial race 6 order, 7-4-6-1-5. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's 6th race, number 7, Yeah No. Yeah No is a 3-year-old dark bay or brown filly by Passion for Action out of Copenhagen Cowgirl. Bred here in Ontario by Ken Lee, Dennis Mitchell, Don Bell, and Gay Bell. Ridden victory today by Luis Contreras, who picks up the winning mount. Yeah No is trained by Joni Mitchell for Ken Lee, Dennis Mitchell, and Twin Bullet Stable. Yeah No rallies to the win, completing the about 7 furlongs in a winning time of 127 and 3. Congratulations to the connections of Yeah No. Hold all tickets until race 6 is made official. Race 6 is now official. Prices are up. Yeah No returns $15 to win, $6.80 and $3.70. Second, number 4, Arctic Velocity, $6.30 to place, $3.40. Third, number 6, Daring Dame, $2.90 to show. $2 Exacta, 7-4, $81.40. The $1 Try, 7-4-6, $155.15. $1 Super, 7-4-6-1, $530.80. The $1 High Five, 7-4-6-1-5, $804 even. The carryover into Monday's card will be $4,542.64. $2 double, 5-7, $44.80. The consolation double with the late scratch number 2, $7.70. $1 pick 3, $291.90. The $1 late pick 4, $1,486.95. And the 20-cent pick 5 today returned $3,615.12. Jackpot High Five carryover has grown to $4,542.64, up for grabs next week. Visit our website, FortErieRacing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show for info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping, and info about upcoming races and events. Racing is back next week at Fort Erie, Monday, August 3rd. Basset Hound and Corgi Day. Post time will be 12:15. And a reminder, tonight's concert for Almost Cool has been rescheduled. The concert will now be taking place on Tuesday, August 11th. Next week, Monday, August 3rd, is Basset Hound and Corgi Day. Be sure to come out for the dogs to take the racetrack. And the feature of Basset Hound Corgi Day, Wiener Dog Champion Frank will be coming here to take on the winners of the Basset Hound and Corgi races for the Battle of the Breeds. Fort Erie is proud to partner with Oneida New Holland of Niagara. We'd like to thank them for providing us with a tractor for our racetrack maintenance. We'd also like to say thank you to our partners at True Green Professional Lawn Care, who have been helping us keep the grass looking green and lush. Tune into the Fort Erie Race Replay Show on Your TV Niagara, Channel 70 HD or 100 Epico, Thursdays at 10:30, Saturdays at 4, and Sundays at noon. And that concludes the Tuesday action here from Fort Erie Racetrack. We'd like to thank everybody who joined us here today. We'll be back on Monday for Basset Hound and Corgi Day, so sure to be a fantastic Civic Holiday afternoon of racing. We hope to see everybody out to enjoy the Civic Holiday. From all of us here at Fort Erie, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night and have a great week.